Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, this is Wales from West to East, and in this video I'm going to show you how to prepare chicken with rice. Now normally people think of Chinese food when they hear about chicken and rice, but in this occasion it's absolutely nothing to do with Chinese kitchen. So as you can see, this is what the dish looks like usually. It's a grilled chicken with rice. It's done in the oven. It's best to have it with some pickles like that, or with Tarator, which is another Bulgarian recipe which I'll show you in another video pretty soon. To wash it down, you should have some nice dry white wine or something else which is cold. It goes well with the chicken and the rice. So that's it for the presentation, and now we're gonna move on to the ingredients. Alright, so the ingredients for the chicken. Obviously you need chicken and rice. You can use any kind of rice that you prefer, which is for cooking and not for desserts. That's up to you. Other than that, you'll need an onion, some tomatoes in a box or fresh tomatoes, some dry white wine, and then in terms of spices you need a little bit of salt, some curry, some black pepper, some garlic, dry or fresh, chicken stock cube, and lastly I'm going to use a universal chicken spice which comes from Maggi. This is the one that I use. This one comes from Bulgaria, but I found the same in France, so I guess you can find basically the same thing in any other country that has Maggi spices in it. So yeah, you don't have to use it, but it's quite nice. It adds a lot of flavor because it has a lot of things in it, and it's specially made for chicken. So if you can find it, use it, and just make sure that you don't add too much salt because it's already quite salty. So that's it for the basic recipe. I'm just gonna add some mushrooms here. In this occasion I'm using frozen mushrooms. You can use any kind of mushrooms that you like. Anyway, this is just an addition. You can replace it with some peas or carrots or nothing at all, it's up to you. So yeah, you can experiment quite a bit with this recipe. So that's it for the ingredients, and now we're going to move on to the preparation phase. Okay, so to begin, I've cleaned the onion, and now I'm going to cut it in small pieces, and then I'm going to add it to a pan with preheated oil. So this will be the first step of this recipe. We'll move on to the oven when I'm done cutting this. So that's it for this part. Alright, so here we are in the oven. So it's time to start the actual cooking process. So I've been preheating some oil here. Now I'm just gonna add the onion, chopped onion. Just gonna stir it real quick. Wait just a couple of seconds. And then, if you're using mushrooms, this is the time to add them into the mixture, because they tend to give out quite some water, so we want that water to evaporate. So I'm adding my mushrooms now. I'm gonna leave them like that. Next, I'm going to add the chicken stock and break it up into small pieces. Okay. The garlic. And finally, white wine. So I'm going to add the white wine now, and now I'm going to add the same amount of liquid, some warm water. Now it's important to keep track of how much liquid you're adding. You should always use the same measurement. So this is some warm water. Because there's a ratio between the rice and the liquid that we'll be using, so I have to keep track of this. So I'm gonna leave this for a couple of minutes like this for it to start to boil, and then I'm gonna bring the rest of the ingredients and add them in. Right, we're back. So as you can see, the mixture is now boiling slightly. So not wasting too much time, I'm gonna add the chicken right in. Just be careful not to burn yourself. Alright. So now that the chicken is in, I'm gonna add all of the remaining ingredients. So I'm gonna start with the tomatoes. Just gonna use about half of the box. Yep. And add the curry. So as usual with my recipes, if you don't like one of the ingredients, you don't have to use it. It's not obligatory, so it's not mandatory. I mean, you can do whatever you like, but this is the way I do it. So now the universal spice. Finally, a little bit of salt. As I said, the spice is quite salty already, so I'm just gonna add this. You can taste it later on and see if it's alright. If not, you can always add some more salt. And finally, I forgot to mention that we need to add some paprika as well. So here goes some paprika. Alright, that's fine. So now mix everything. Make sure that the chicken is well covered in the juice. At some point we'll have to return it for it to cook from the other side, but this is the first part. So now what you need to do is leave this to cook like this on medium to high heat. It has to boil. Leave it cooking for about 10 minutes, and midway during this you should come back to it and return the chicken like this, so that it can cook well from the other side. So that's it for this part. And next, oh yeah, I forgot, this is also a good moment to start preheating your oven. So start preheating it now. This way you will get you'll gain some time later on. So yeah, just gonna leave it like this, and next we're gonna add the rice and all that. Alright, we're back to the table now. So the preparation part is almost done. The next part will be self-made. So now I'm gonna add some rice to this here cooking pan. I'm gonna use the same measurement as I did for the liquid, the water and the wine. So basically, the guideline is that you want to use 1 cup or 1 measurement of rice for 2 cups or measurements of liquid that you add. So I'm going to use 2 of these cups, but don't worry if your measurements are not precise. If you feel that you need some more rice or some less rice, or that during the cooking part the liquid here didn't boil off too much. So cooking is not a precise science, so it doesn't matter. You can always correct things, and if you end up with a little bit more liquid than you should have, all that this will do is make the cooking time a little bit longer, because for the final dish you want it to be dried and without any water left in the dish. But yeah, this looks alright. I'm just gonna add a little bit more rice, because actually when I added as I mentioned, I added some mushrooms and they add some more water to the whole mixture. So yeah, this is it. Next, I'm gonna add the whole preparation here. Just be careful with it. It is still very hot. Also keep in mind that once you add it in your cooking pan, the cooking pan will heat up very fast. So when you take it to transport it back to the oven, you should take care not to burn yourself. So just a little advice, always put the chicken with the skin on top. This way it can grill well, and it will be better to eat, more tastier I mean. So yeah, just mix everything up. Now as you can see, there's not all that much water. I've prepared 2 more measurements of hot water here, 2 more measurements of this cup here. So I'm just gonna add them slowly until the whole thing is a little bit floaty and the chicken is halfly covered to the half in liquid. So maybe, yeah, I won't use the whole liquid, the whole quantity that I've previously prepared, but as I said, it's not crucial. It doesn't ruin your dish if you add some more or some less. So make sure everything is well spread. The rice at the bottom, all the other ingredients like the mushrooms here, or if you're using some olives or anything else, just make sure it's evenly spread, because once it starts drying it will be harder to spread it well. So it looks quite a bit liquid for now, but don't worry, the rice will absorb all this liquid and also the cooking process will dry it out. So now I'm just gonna put it in the oven and leave it there to cook for well, I don't know for how long, probably about 1 hour. Basically, as I said, it's done when the rice is dry. It starts to get all grilled, and you can also tell that the chicken is well grilled by the skin, which will be all crispy and a little bit browny, and the rice will be a little bit browny as well. So yeah, it depends on a lot of things. It depends on the rice, it depends on how much time you cooked the chicken before, the temperature that you're using and all that. So never mind, this will be about 1 hour. I'm going to show you what it looks like at the end, so you can have this as a guide. So that's it for now, and see you in a bit when this is ready. And we're back. So this is it. The chicken rice is now ready. It took me about 45 minutes to do this time. As I told you, it depends, so you should always keep an eye on it, in order to keep it from burning. So as you can see, the rice is well dry and bloated. It's consumed all the liquid, and the chicken looks quite nice. The skin is browny and crispy. So this should be great. It smells good. So I think it's well done for now. So I hope you like it, and see you soon at What's to East.